Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Your Mission. I'm your host, Bill McIntosh. When I was living in Toronto many years ago, back in the 70s, long time before the internet, there was a very small mom and pop pizza shop that popped up. And then all of a sudden, they just exploded. And the secret to their success at the time was they came out with, well, number one, they bought a really cool, memorable telephone number because back in the day, there was no internet. And the second thing was they came up with a really memorable, cool jingle as well. So they started buying radio spots. And to this day, like 40 some years later, I can still remember their phone number. The company was called Pizza Pizza, and the jingle on the radio was 967-1111. Call Pizza Pizza. Hey, 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 hey. That was it. That was the jingle. It's still in my head. Obviously, the jingle had a better singer than me. But how many phone numbers can you remember from 40, 50 years ago? Now, today, fast forward, they have over 730 outlets across Canada and just a huge, huge success in a very crowded space. Now, what does all this have to do with my guest today, Ajmal Mushtaq? Well, Mushtaq is a leading entrepreneur in Great Britain. He's a director in Britain's largest takeaway, or if you're an American, takeout food kitchen. He's won Entrepreneur of the Year award in 2019. He's a business speaker, a business leader, and I'm really excited to have you on the show today, Mushtaq. Thanks for taking the time to be here.
Hi, Bill. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for such a kind introduction.
No, my pleasure. Now, we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of Boss Pizza, which is one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing pizza franchise operation in Britain. But before we get into that, can you just take me back a little bit and explain to our viewers what got you into the food industry in the first place? What sparked that interest for you?
I'm in the business of making money.
Okay.
8 billion people wake up every day and think about food. So if you're running a business,
I love it.
Food business is guaranteed to have 8 billion customers. It really is as simple as that.
Okay. That makes so much sense. I've never heard someone explain it that way before, but yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So if you get your car repaired, that's maybe once a year. If you go clothes shopping, that's maybe once a month, once every few months. But food, you have to eat food every single day. The minute you finish lunch, you're thinking, what
am I having for dinner?
And we're tapping into that market. We understand the psyche of hungry people, and that's the market we're targeting.
Okay. So why pizza then? There's so many choices in the food space. Why pizza?
Nobody is offended by a slice of pizza.
Okay.
Now, I was brought up in the Indian food industry. That's my first big takeaway business.
Right.
And if you take a group of 20 people, there's always one or two people that say, oh, no, I don't like spicy food. I don't like Indian food.
Sure.
If you take sushi, for example, there's always one or two people in a group, I don't like raw fish. But when it comes to pizza, nobody is offended by a slice of pizza. I have yet to come across a single person in my life who doesn't like pizza.
No, you're absolutely right. I've never met anyone who has said no. Even vegetarians can order the veggie pizza, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, there's something for everyone. And now your headquarters is based in Scotland, correct? In Glasgow. And when did Boss Pizza first hit the streets? When did the first store open, and where are you at today?
So we started Boss Pizza just at the start of COVID. We thought takeout business is going to explode. You read the market. We set up Boss Pizza. It was supposed to just be one store,
All
but
right.
it was phenomenally successful. So within 8 months, we opened up a second store. 8 months after that, we opened up a third store. And now we're opening up in London. But in the meantime, we are only a small operation at the moment, but
Right.
we have spent the last 3 years building a solid foundation. So we've built the national distribution center, the franchise model, the distribution capability. We've built franchise sales models. So we've spent 3 years focusing on building a solid foundation. So when we start to scale, we scale very quickly. That's the plan.
Okay, fantastic. Now, if you had to name the top 3 ingredients, and pun intended, the top 3 ingredients to build a successful pizza restaurant, pizza outlet, because you weren't the first and you won't be the last pizza place to open. What would your top 3 be that separate you from all the competition? Like, what made your first store so successful?
So the three key elements of running a great business. One, you've got to have a great product. So we spend a disproportionate amount of quality control. We spend a disproportionate amount of time quality controlling the product. So number one, quality product. Number two, no point doing a good job if no one knows about it. Get out there and tell the world you are amazing at what you do. We spend almost 50% of our time promoting the brand. And then number three, spend as much time as you can investing in your people. I know that's cliched and everyone says it, but if you've got great people around you, whether it's franchise partners or employees or anyone that's working, or even your suppliers, make sure you're getting the best of the best. So quality ingredients, marketing, and great people.
Okay. So the quality ingredients for your pizzas, that goes without saying, no explanation needed. What do you well, first of all, what are your main forms of marketing that are helping to propel your growth? And the other part to that question is, what are the key things you're looking for in your people when you're building your team? What makes a good team member?
Okay. So we have approximately 30 different marketing channels. And as I said, there's no point doing a good job if no one knows about it. So we do everything from the cheapest marketing thing that you could think of, which is maybe a leaflet at a few pennies, all the way up to 40-foot billboards, branded cars worth thousands of pounds, and then everything in between as well. So we've got branded cars, billboards, menu distribution, text messaging, social media. And the one thing that's really hot for us at the moment is TikTok. At this moment, in my inbox, I have got 160 franchise leads that have all come from TikTok. It is incredibly powerful. So any business not on TikTok, you are missing a trick right there.
Right.
Secondly,
for sure. How long ago did you do your TED Talk? Sorry to interrupt. How long ago did you do the TED Talk?
They're ongoing.
They're ongoing.
Every week we film 1, 2, 3 TikToks and post them. And we've managed to gain a good momentum. We've had millions of views. We've had a good number of TikToks that have gone viral.
Okay.
And even my own business speaking TikToks have had millions of views on those as well. And that all adds to the mix, the marketing mix.
Of course.
So we want to target as many different people in as many different ways as possible. We're not doing one thing and then hoping for the best. We are using every possible weapon in our arsenal. To make
every
sure
marketing
we're
avenue.
as many as possible.
Yeah. Except, if I may say, I looked at your website. I haven't seen anything yet that indicates you do a weekly podcast. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
You got to check. You got to think about that. You got to think about that.
Okay. I mean, we're
We
all
could
about
always chat
marketing.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
As
that
some,
could be something.
yeah,
That could be
as
something we look at.
that was a cheap plug.
Right.
As some viewers may already realize, in addition to hosting Market Your Mission, which is produced by On Air Brands, we're a full service agency for podcasters. I'm also a consulting sales director for them. So yeah,
Okay.
we can have a chat about that. Now, getting
Sure.
back to the second part of the question, what are you looking for in your team, and what makes an ideal franchisee as well?
An ideal franchisee is someone who is now I'm not being ageist at all.
Right.
Someone 30, 35, around
Sure.
about that age. They've got a little bit of savings. They've got a little bit of life experience. They've got some maturity, but the best thing is at that age, they've still got the best 10, 15 years ahead of them.
Sure.
Because running a business successfully requires a lot of energy. So we want to make sure that
100%. Yeah.
people who have got, decent mileage in them, they carry a larger chance of being successful long term. Remember, we're looking for long term partners. So if you're 65, coming to us, and then you want to retire in 1 year, this franchise business is probably not for you. If you're straight out of university, perhaps a bit young, we would like someone with a bit of life experience, people management, everything. So ideally, someone who's got a little bit of life experience, a little bit of maturity, a good head on their shoulders, and a great attitude. And they've got to have that hunger. And if they've got that hunger, that can carry you a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I think that's true for any new business startup or entrepreneurial venture, right? Venture, you have to have that hunger. You got to have that fire in your belly to keep you going through the rough spots.
Running a business is incredibly difficult, so you are going to have to muster all of the energy you can find from anywhere and everywhere in order to put into this business. This business will dominate your life. Not this business meaning Boss Pizza. Any business that you run successfully, it will dominate your time. It's going to drain you emotionally, financially, spiritually,
physically,
every way possible. Is
emotionally,
emotionally, yes.
Yeah.
So you need to be ready for it.
Yeah. I've been a lifelong entrepreneur. I get it. I laugh when I see these people, promoting something. There's some kind of training course they're selling online to teach people how to become online business owners, whatever. Own your time, have financial freedom, live the laptop lifestyle on a beach somewhere. They have no idea, if they've never been in business before, all the things you've just listed, what it takes to be successful. There are many a day as an entrepreneur, I dreamed and wished I had a normal 9 to 5 job where I could just go home and forget about it, right? Switch off and let the owner have all the headaches. So I'm sure you can relate to that. And then in terms of team members, what are a couple of the main things you're looking for? I would think it's very similar, right? They've got to have a lot of energy. They've got to be good team players. They have to have a desire to succeed and maybe advance in the company. Did I miss anything?
The key thing about running a big team is, as the business grows, you as the owner, you're incapable of doing everything. So the skill is to identify a good technical resource. So I'm never going to try to be technical. I've got someone else doing video for me. I've got someone else doing operations. I've got someone else doing customer service for me. So the key thing is, as a business owner, is to identify all of the different skills that you need and bring them to the table and make them work together. And your job as the owner, the leader, is to make sure they've got a clear vision, they're motivated, they're enthused, and they're working towards a common goal. That is your job as the leader of an organization.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. It's funny because I have the exact same conversation with people all the time where they think about going the route of starting and producing and promoting the podcast themselves because they know it's a good marketing tool. It's the best tool that I know of to build that knowability, know, like, and trust factor that's so important to attract, new franchisees, investors. And I have to, have that conversation with them and saying, like, what experience do you have in that? Wouldn't it make more sense to partner with experts in that field who do all that for you, take it off your plate, and just focus on your business, moving the big levers in your business, and hire us as your partner to take care of all things podcasting? You hit record, forget about it. And that makes sense to them. So I totally get where you're coming from on that. I can see very clearly why you're a go-to resource business leader in Great Britain, because everything you're talking about has really almost nothing to do with pizza or even food franchising. It has everything to do with how to build a successful business. Because as you started off with at the top of the podcast, I'm interested in making money, and by extension, helping your franchisees make money. So that comes through. That comes through loud and clear. So for the viewers, this is really, really good stuff, because you could apply what you're, what we're talking about here. They could apply to any type of business, really.
So the principles of running any business in the world are exactly the same. You need sales, you need people, you need customer service, you need good product, you need tax, you need operations, you name it. There's about 70, 80 different elements that you need to bring together to make a successful business. And the principles of running every single business in the world are exactly the same. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So where would you like to see Boss Pizza 10 years from now then, Mushtaq? What's the goal?
So we've got a very clear vision at Boss Pizza. We want to make Boss Pizza a leading brand in the UK. And we want to have hundreds of branches within the next 5 to 6 years. 10 years is too far away. We're talking 5-6 years. We want to have hundreds of branches.
Wow.
And as I said earlier on, we have been busy building a solid foundation that will allow us to scale this business very, very quickly indeed.
Yeah. And when you opened the first store, if I understood correctly, when you opened the first store, the idea wasn't to franchise and scale, was it? Did that idea come afterwards?
Yeah, the idea to build Boss Pizza was just, I had a restaurant as well. So I thought, well, if I start a pizza business, it will supplement income and make up for the shortfall that was lost in the restaurant income.
Right, because of COVID.
Yeah. Because of COVID.
Yeah.
Then it just took off.
Yeah, the light bulb went off.
And we realized the running of Boss Pizza is very simple. We've got a very simple operating model.
Right.
You don't need many resources. It's very easy to train people up.
Right.
So it just made sense to replicate this in other towns, and that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, that's fantastic. What are one or two of the biggest challenges you're facing in your business that you need to solve in order to hit that goal, your 5-6 year goal? Because every business has challenges. It's never magic fairy dust and everything just falls into place, right?
The biggest challenge for us at the moment is the length of time it takes to sign up franchisees and get them open. So, for example, anyone buying a franchise, it's not like buying a shirt or a jumper where you go to the shop and buy it. This is a lifelong commitment. Yeah. So the lead time for people to send in a franchise inquiry, have a think about it with a family, get the finances in order, and then go through the legal work of finding a shop, and then finding a shop and going through the legals for that, getting the planning permissions in place. That process is quite a long process, and that's one thing that we have identified as a main challenge for us.
Okay.
In terms of selling pizzas, no issues at all. We could churn out pizzas in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
No issue at all there. That's the mentality that we were brought up with.
Yeah.
A retail customer walks into the store, they pay you money, you give them pizza straight away. The transaction is immediate.
Yeah.
Whereas the transaction for franchise sales, there is a time lag, and that time lag can often be months at a time. And then it's just a case of you're juggling so many different franchise inquiries at one time, and it takes a long time to sort of get them over the line. That's the biggest challenge.
Okay, no, that makes sense. And what are you doing to overcome that challenge?
Well, we've appointed a franchise sales director who's going to be responsible purely for signing up franchisees. Then I've got another team in place that are the shop fit out team that will then take on from there and just open up the shops and hand the keys to the franchisees.
Oh, great. Okay. Now they're fitting out the shops. Are they also scouting locations as well?
We leave that to the franchisees. Mainly, we can guide them and provide some assistance. However, someone in a town 400 miles from Glasgow, they know their geography better than us. So they know the local area, they know what works, they know the areas that are good, bad. So we leave that mainly to the franchisees, but we guide them with certain principles for Boss Pizza stores.
Of course. Yeah, of course. If somebody's brand new to the food industry or pizza industry and they want to open up a store in the middle of nowhere, you're going to guide them and steer them right to a high street somewhere or what have you. So, okay, well, that makes sense. And I can see that being the major challenge, the runway from somebody showing interest or even signing up saying, yes, let's go, to actually opening up the shop can be a long one. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. But I think that in terms of your competition, I would think they have exactly the same challenges and issues, right?
Yeah, every franchise business will have the same challenges. It just takes a long time to sign up and open a store. The good news is there might be a lot of work in the pipeline and you might not see any results. Then all of a sudden, in the space of 2 months, you could land 10 stores.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, it might look as if nothing's happening. So at the moment, it might look, we're going through that painful period at the moment.
Yeah.
Looking from the outside, it looks as if there's not much happening, but there's actually a lot happening. So when the stores do land, they'll land in very quick succession.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. I can understand that coming from my, lifelong sales career. Your pipeline is filling up fast. You mentioned 160 leads just recently. And so, as long as you've got fresh, active leads in the pipeline, they'll come out the other end eventually. It may take longer than you want, but they're going to come out the other end.
Yeah.
And for somebody who is considering starting a franchise or buying a franchise, what would you, of course, there's 8 billion potential customers, but opening a pizza franchise, in London or somewhere else in Great Britain is you're not going to reach those 8 billion. But I get the concept of why food is so great compared to other models. But for someone who's thinking of buying a franchise in general, what would be 1 or 2 tips you could give them to watch out for, so they don't end up with a mismatch between them and the franchisor?
I think when you're looking at a franchise business, you want to look at one where the support from head office is significant. Mm-hmm. The royalties are tipped in favour of the franchisee,
right?
And one where the operating model is quite simple. and then stores that are actually making money. There's a lot of franchises out there where the franchise stores are not making that much money. I'm talking about general franchise business, not just in the pizza market.
Right.
So the way we are mitigating that is we are making sure that the franchisee makes as much money as possible. So our royalties are very low. And there's a good general business lesson in this. If you are focused on making sure your franchisees are making as much money as possible, they're going to come back to you and say, right, Mushtaq, we want another Boss Pizza. My friend wants a Boss Pizza. My other friend wants a Boss Pizza.
Sure.
So that's our sales strategy, by making sure we're putting as much of the profit back into the franchisee's pocket as possible. They'll do the sales by default for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That circles all the way back to treat your people right. Not only people internally on your team, but your franchisees as well. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's almost an organic growth model, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's an age-old saying, but it still holds true. There's a reason it's a cliche, but word of mouth is the best advertising, money cannot buy.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, that's really smart. And so, where do you see yourself on a personal level in terms of, let's say we jump in our time machine. It's 2028. It's 2030. You've got hundreds of stores open around Britain. What's the plan on a personal level for Mushtaq? What does he do next? Is this the rest of your life kind of thing, or what's next?
Well, we've got a very clear plan, and that is to grow the business as fast and as hard as possible for 7 years, and then we're going to exit at year 7. That's the plan.
That's the plan. Okay.
And I'm not making I'm not dressing that up any other way. Boss Pizza was started to make money, both for the franchisees and everyone that's involved in the business. So at year 7, we're going to exit. We're going to build the value of the business, exit and cash in. And that's what we're going to do.
Right. Makes sense. I just, for everybody watching this, Mushtaq, I hope they can really appreciate how you've got the answer to every single question, because it's all been planned out. There's nothing left to chance. There's a very clear pathway. And I think this is a good lesson for any wannabe business owner, whether it's to build a franchise network or not. It's to have a very, very clear path forward, so that you can track your progress. You can have all the checks and balances in place, the benchmarks to hit, all the rest of it. Yeah, I really love that. Well, look, I think there's so many golden nuggets in this, for not only people that are in business, but are thinking of getting in business. And the last thing I leave you with is, for all of our UK viewers who may be considering buying a pizza franchise, how do they find out more about Boss Pizza and how to get involved as a franchisee?
Just go to boss-pizza.co.uk and all of the information is on the website now.
Fantastic. And I love the website, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Very, very clear, very well laid out. It's not overcrowded. The, as we say in the marketing industry, the CTA is very clear, the call to action. Every section of the website, above and below the fold, is, contact us now, get in touch today, or for people wanting a pizza, order today. It's the freshest, it's the best. It's a really well done website.
Thank you.
So boss-pizza.co.uk. That's where people can reach out to you. Okay, fantastic. Is there anything else that I didn't ask you, Mushtaq, that you wish I would have?
No, that's fine. And one final thing I'd say to anyone watching this: and we touched on this earlier, there are so many gurus out there that are selling courses, how to get rich quick. What I do in my personal TikTok at Ajmal Mushtaq on TikTok, I give out dozens and dozens of free tips on TikTok, real business advice. So if you're interested in business or making money, consider following that account. There's loads of great nuggets of information, and the best thing is, I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling a book at the back end or a course or anything. I'm blessed enough. I've done well in business, and now it's my time to give back. So I'm just sharing my most valuable lessons back with the business community.
That's fantastic. And where again can people find you?
Again, it's just TikTok.
For that business advice?
At Ajmal Mushtaq. That's on TikTok.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's fantastic. Well, that's great. And I'll post some links too in this below somewhere on the page when the production team they do all that stuff, but they'll have the links up there as well. Well, listen, once again, I want to really thank you for taking the time to be on the show today, Mushtaq. I know you're a super busy guy. You're building an empire that takes up a lot of hours in a day. So thanks. I feel very fortunate to have had you on the show today. I know our viewers and listeners that are listening while they're driving or whatever they're doing will really appreciate what you've shared today. And thanks very much. And we'll be following the growth and success of Boss Pizza.
Thank you very much. And thank you for having me on the show.
No, my pleasure. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.